seconds. See if anybody jumps on. Because otherwise it's just going to be me talking at a camera and I'm not going to know if my equipment works. Because I'm like 10 feet from the router and my speed test says I'm good. And I've got 2 mics, both of which say they're on. So we'll just twiddle my thumbs for a second here and see if this goes anywhere. I've got a like, but no views. Humble 33, hey! And we are back! Kermode, what is up? Humble 33, shalom guys. Did you guys have a good Shabbat? So, all right, 5x5. I assume we are solid good and not, video like a potato again. But anyway, so where I was going, better than ever. I appreciate that. All right, so on those of you guys who are watching my abomination content, I want to know, would you prefer, instead of staring at the top of my bald head like this while I read scripture, would you prefer if I take Holly, shalom, good to see you. Would you guys prefer that I do like a screen record of like either the Bible app or Blue Letter Bible or whatever, where I'm reading scripture just verse by verse, and cut that into the video instead of me just doing a straight read through and then I look down at my Bible every time I'm trying to read? Would y'all prefer that, or do you like looking at my bald head for some reason? Hooter and Torah, shalom. It is good to see you, brother. So let's get, I don't know, is there a way to throw a poll in this? I may not be cool. You like Mr. Clean? No, there's not a way for me to throw a poll in this. What I may do is I may do like a community post poll. 12 people. All right, for the 12 people who are watching, that I'm pretty sure half of you guys aren't moderators. I'm the 12th C Conditioning. My channel is Faith and Fitness. That's what I do. I'm going through a lot of push-up videos right now. I'm trying to clap successfully forward and back and land that 10 times in a row. And I'm doing that every day. I'm also doing a lot of scripture videos, just prepper stuff. That's, where it's at. And I'm not the kind of prepper who's like end of the world type of stuff. I'm into the, like, you've got stuff, you might as well use it. And the number one thing that you need to be able to like sustain yourself in this world is going to be faith. Beyond that, the number 2 thing is fitness. And if you are not actually moving your body in whatever capacity that looks like for you, because it's not the same for everybody. If you're not moving your body, then you're not actually using what the Father has given you. And so you need to actually correct that. Use what you got, wear it out. I'm trying to do this on the cheap. Like, I just got a new set of mics and gimbal, and this is because of you guys, and I really appreciate that. If you're buying one of my shirts, which when this stream is over, I'll link a copy for the shirts in the description, or if one of my moderators wants to grab a shirt link and toss that in the chat, you guys could totally do that too. That is a new thing for me, like, because I've usually been like really cheap Bluetooth headphones and super shaky cam. So like those of you who have been here since the beginning know. But I'm trying to do a little bit better. Also wanted to do a little bit of Q&A for you guys. So let's see, what's the chat at? Doing a bunch on spiritual push-ups currently. Oofda. Yeah. Holly, maybe set the camera to the side or facing the Bible that you're reading from. So Holly, where I am shooting my Bible videos usually, if it's not in here in my garage, it's usually because I'm at work when I'm doing those. And I've got a job that has some downtime, and so technically I'm getting paid to be a professional YouTuber. by my employer when that happens. And so like, because we've got downtime and I'm on call effectively, and so I just go into a room that's unused. And the last Bible video that I filmed for you guys, y'all couldn't see it, but where I was standing was the only room that I had in that room, because there were a metric ton of boxes in that room. We were getting audited. And we cleaned up our storage room so that way when the auditors came through, they wouldn't freak out that there was a whole bunch of cardboard from open packages and things. And so the room that I usually film those in, the yellow background wall, that room is like kind of a catch-all. Like, we share that building with about 3 other agencies, and those guys will like just toss their junk in that room. And so it's quite literally the junk room, and that's where I film. Because it's quiet. There's like a floor above me of nobody. And so there's that. And I just, have my ringer on in case something happens. And that's cool. But it really limits what I can do for setting up cameras. And I only do this on my phone. So, if I were to like go off to the side or whatever, it would be a little different. In doing that, I'm not saying that that's not possible, but what I'm really going for more of anything is like I could talk to the camera, and then instantly when I'm ready to do a scripture reading passage, I can just turn on screen record, and then I can open up the Bible app and start reading from there. And I can cut them to where that would be like, you're either looking at my face when I'm talking, or you'd be looking at, the Bible app, me going through the whole scripture on that. And I wouldn't, hit play to where the pre-recorded audio would read for you guys. I'm not about that. I'll do it on like Blue Letter when I'm, trying to get somebody else to pronounce a Greek word for me that I don't know how to pronounce. But in that, I would... Do you guys like looking at my bald head, or do you want me to take the extra time and actually edit some clips in? Because I will do that if it will pique interest. Hope that answers your question, Holly. I've been on, or haven't been on much lately. Get back to fellowship more. That's totally fine, Holly. We understand. Yeah, go get the shirts. They're dope. Thanks, Hooter. So I have a little bit of a confession to make. My shirt, and this is a little bit of a long story. I'm actually getting another shirt because mine got run over by a lawnmower. So I was working out and got my shirt like super sweaty, took a selfie of that. What I've been doing is I've been hanging my shirt up to dry in the sun. So that way the next day I can go work out in it again, because I'm trying to like put it through heavy paces and just see what the limits of these shirts are. Getting run over by a mower was not on my bingo card. I hang these shirts up to dry just on the netting of my kid's trampoline, which is sometimes my trampoline. It just depends. Because I tell you what, trampolines are better workouts than people give them credit for. And it was pretty windy that day, and I didn't hang it up right. And what I needed to do was just toss it in the middle of the trampoline, lay it flat, and then, the net would have protected it. But wind blew it off. And my wife is super awesome. Mrs. 12th C is like the best wife in the whole wide world. And not because of the reason I'm about to share, but the reason I'm about to share is still a pretty cool reason. So some of you guys know I work a really crazy night job, and it's 4 nights on and then 3 nights off, and then the transitions and all that. It's hard. And cutting my grass takes like 3 hours. I'm not cool. I don't have sheep. I don't have goats. So I can't do the whole like send out the sheep and the goats to go cut my grass for me. I have to do it manually, and my kids aren't old enough to do it. And I hate it when my wife does it, not because she does a bad job. She does an amazing job when she cuts the grass. It's just, I was raised right, and my wife doesn't cut the grass. So I go and do it. And my wife bought me a robot lawnmower. And it was one of the good ones, like Prime Day, like was good to us this year. And we saved a metric ton of money on this because we'd been thinking about it for a while, and it went on super de-duper sale. and we got it for a huge discount. And it took about a week to set it up. You know, you got to train it like a dog, show it where to go, where not to go, all that. Well, anyway, wind blew my shirt off as my robot lawnmower was cutting the grass, and I like the robot lawnmower. It's good. Like it has taken me from where I was doing 3 hours of lawn work once a week in the yard to now I'm doing about 20 minutes of weed eating every other week now, and that's awesome. But anyway, the robot lawnmower ran over my shirt because my shirt was flat enough on the ground that it didn't detect it as an object to avoid, and so it just ran right over it. So I'm having another one made, and hopefully we'll have that pretty soon. And yeah, the shirts are cool. They'll handle a lot of abuse, but they won't handle getting run over by a lawnmower, for what that's worth. All right, let's see. We'll keep your secret. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate that. Hooter and Tora deleted somebody's message. Let's see. Yeah, thanks for deleting that one, Hoot. And like I said on the last Go one, mods, just use your hammer with discretion. If you want to ban somebody, ban somebody. I don't care. Lawnmower, ha 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 ha. Adult version of my dog ate it. Yeah, 100%. But so like this lawnmower, it's bought back so much more time because I sleep during the day now, and so that's, you know, that. So if you guys see me on somebody's live stream during the day, like you'd be like, 12, go to bed. But yeah, so it's bought back time, and with my littles, it's time that I get to spend with them, and it's good. Now, yeah, I can take my kids outside and let them, you know, play while I'm mowing, and that's fine, and I do that. But this is more like active FaceTime that I get with my kids. So that part, Holly, it's all part of the testing. Yeah, 100%. Not lawnmower proof. Yeah, it is not. We would have known we didn't test, or wouldn't have known if we didn't test it. Yeah, 100%. We wouldn't have known. Yeah, the T&E game is strong on the shirts. I have, before the lawnmower ran this one over, let's see, have rucked in it. I have done a whole bunch. I've played with cinder blocks with it. I've run up and down the state capitol steps and pretended like I was Rocky running up the library steps. A lot of burpees, a lot of weights, a lot of kettlebells, a lot of box jumps. It's a good shirt. Is it my favorite t-shirt that's ever been made? No, but it's a good shirt. And you guys buying them have helped support this channel. Did I get enough money for mics and a gimbal? No, I loaned myself a little bit of money. Well, Real Me loaned 12th C some money, so that way we give it. But the proceeds from the shirts, once I tithe on them, will go to pay Real Me back on that. My sleep schedule has been all messed up lately. Have you been sleeping a lot extra on Shabbat? Yeah, I have. So I work from about 9 p.m. to, which puts me leaving the house at 8. I get home about 8:30 in the morning, so I'm gone a little over 12 hours. And then I'll come home, I'll play with kiddos, make everybody breakfast if I can. My wife is particular about her breakfast, so she makes her breakfast her way, which is fine. And you know, she appreciates when I make it for her, but I don't make it the same way she does. So get her breakfast squared up, and then play with the kids for a little while, read to them, and then I'll go to bed. And if I can be in bed by 9:30, I'm doing really well. And that's AM, not PM. And then if I can be asleep before 10, that's the best. And then I sleep, and then somewhere between 4:30 and 5:30 is when I get woken up usually. And then spend time with the kiddos, make dinner, and do all of that. I've been taking Methylene Blue. Holly, if you are not taking the Methylene Blue game, you need to be. There's some really, really good stuff that I've been taking that is like triple tested by several independent labs, and it is super purity inspected. The Methylene Blue that's out there, like some of it is legit fish tank cleaner, and some of it is like really high quality stuff. And you need to be careful about what Methylene Blue you're taking, because even the pharmacy grade stuff is about got about 1/3 chance that it will have heavy metals in it. So that's why you really want to get it tested by several independent labs. And so I wouldn't buy the cheapest stuff you can find. I would buy the highest quality stuff that has purity standard certificates or whatever from companies that you recognize. But it'll turn your tongue blue. I dropped 20 drops in about a triple shot worth of water, and mix it up, drink it, and then I fill up that whole glass of water all the way up to the top and then chug that. And then I take some magnesium glycinate or glycol or whatever, the magnesium, follow up the one with the G that helps you sleep. And when I take those, then it helps me usually conk out pretty good. I'm usually pretty tired from work anyway. The hardest part is transition days. So the transition from my day on, which I go in Sunday night, that's hard because I'm usually awake a lot of Sunday, not all of it, but a lot of it. I'll try to get a nap in, and sometimes that's better than others. And then I get off Thursday morning, and so Thursdays are pretty hard for me. I'll nap on Shabbat, but I try to keep normal human hours on Thursday, Friday, and on Shabbat. Doesn't mean I won't take naps, doesn't mean, other stuff won't happen, but yeah, I'm probably only sleeping about 80% on a good day of what I should be sleeping. So it's hard, but ever since switching to the Methylene Blue, I've gone from like 60% of what I should be sleeping to about 80%. So it's a lot better than it was. Part of having work the way it is, because I'm on call, like if I get a 30-minute nap at work, it's not the end of the world. If all the work's done, now there are some nights that we are working from the second I get there, 9 p.m. until the second I leave. It's rare, but that is common. And when I say working, I mean like sweating your butt off outside in the heat, or you're in the cold and you're freezing your butt off outside in the cold for that entire time. Or there are days where we start working at 9 when I get there, and we're done by midnight. And then it's kick up your feet and do whatever. And so I noticed that when I sleep more than about 30 minutes at work, when I go home to sleep, I sleep terrible. And so if I have enough time, then yeah, I'll get in 4 hours at work before I go home, because we're on call. And so if something happens, you just wake up and you go to work. But there are other nights where, we finish up at like 2:33 in the morning, and then we don't really have anything until 6:30. And so we will just kind of hang out and go and have fun. We'll sleep, we'll eat, and I use some of that downtime to work on my channel. Part of why I was able to do that abomination spreadsheet was I had some downtime at work, and I had some, just some other downtime when kids were asleep and I was wide awake. And it's just, some of that's just finding time. But it is what it is. So let's see, where are some of these comments at? Sleep schedule's been all messed up. Yeah. It's my favorite breakfast. If you're still watching, my favorite breakfast, so I make these protein pancakes for my kids, and they are super awesome. They got Jocko vanilla in them, and my wife mills wheat berries into fresh flour, like fresh flour, and there is a difference. There's a huge difference. Like day-old fresh flour versus flour that has just been milled, there's a world of difference in between the two. And the milled flour that's been sitting for like 3 weeks is like bad, versus the stuff that you get in the store where it's just in the the bleached flour or whatever, it's horrible. So it's totally different. And there's also a lot more nutrition in that. And I'm working on sourcing some raw milk so that way I can make those protein pancakes even better. I do that with turkey bacon and usually a lot of eggs. And then I will mix yogurt, like whole Greek yogurt, in with no sugar in it or anything, with protein powder and with collagen, and then I'll put creatine in there. And depending on the flavor of your protein that you mix in there, it is amazing. And you stick it in the freezer for about 20 minutes and it tastes like ice cream. So yeah, TJ mentioned how he gets himself to fall asleep better at times in a video. Yeah, it does work. So Holly, I'll send you my link for Methylene Blue on Signal, and we'll go from there. Holly, who did you delete? That's fine, Vance. You don't have to like me. I'm not for everybody, and that's okay. Been on Healthletics, maybe Methylene Blue. I like it. Seems to help with focus and cognition for sure. Yeah. So I've been doing more creatine for focus. I think the Methylene Blue is helping a little bit, but I've been triple dosing creatine. And, you know, creatine will help you with your muscle mass and all of that. It's really more water retention than anything else. But I've read a lot of studies on a triple dose of creatine, so 15 grams. And that's equivalent of eating like, I think it's like equivalent of eating about 8 pounds of steak. Not protein-wise, but just the creatine ingredient itself. And creatine is cheap, guys. Like, if you're sleeping on creatine, you need to not be. Go get you some creatine and put it in your stuff because like it's good. I throw it in my water with some electrolyte mix and can't even taste it, and shake it up, and it is rock solid. That's been helping a lot more with focus, especially when I'm tired. There was a big study done on caffeine versus creatine, and creatine's like 10 times more effective than caffeine. So, because it just, you're not wired. You're just like, I can think. So yeah. Hidalgo said hi. Hidalgo, that was a good movie. Sleep's important. Night shift people have a much higher likelihood of cardiac disorder and tend to have a significantly decreased lifespan. Third shift is a killer. Beartron, I'm on third shift, and it's a means to an end. My wife and I have been talking about what a exit strategy looks like for this. It's a means to an end. The pay is good, and the pay is good because statistically speaking, third shift people live about 10 years less than your day shift people. And that's just the way that it is. There's also lifestyle habits that go with third shift that is not talked about very much. And I believe that is a contributor as well. But yeah, statistically speaking, like we were not made to sleep during the day. Naps are one thing, but like sleeping all day, it's not what we're made for. We're made to absorb vitamin D during the day and get some sleep at night when normal people sleep. I've been noticing it seems melatonin gives me headaches when I wake up. I usually sleep in 2 shifts. So a two sleep shifting cycle is not uncommon. There's a lot of cultures that actually do 2 sleeps, where they'll wake up in the middle of the night for about 2 hours and then go back to bed. The melatonin, you got to be careful with it because your body builds up an immunity to it, and that's why I don't take it. But enough people that I know on the melatonin game, they get a good sleep for a couple of weeks out of it, and then after that they just plateau off, and it's no good. So you really got to detox after taking that melatonin. Let's see, what syrup do you use? All right, so I hate syrup. I absolutely hate syrup. If I have to have something, I will take a little bit of like completely raw peanut butter, and I will put that on the pancake, and it's literally just peanuts that are ground up, and like the oil in the peanuts produces the peanut oil, and then like they throw some salt in there. So like peanuts and salt, just ground up, and I'll put that on there. And then every once in a blue moon, like on Sukkot maybe, I will put, not syrup, I will put a little bit of raw honey in that. Sometimes mix a little bit of yogurt in there. But that's about all I will ever top pancakes with, and my pancakes are so good, like they taste amazing dry. My wife came outside this morning while I was jumping on the trampoline with the kiddos, and she's like, "These pancakes taste like French toast. What did you do?" And I was like, I put butter on them. She's like, they're amazing. Like, thanks, I appreciate it. All of the pancakes got eaten today. They were wonderful. Honey instead of syrup, 100% Humble 33. It's just, honey is so sugar dense, and so is syrup. We have some like real maple syrup, like from Canada, that is like the super de-duper, like Curious George himself tapped the maple tree, but you know, it is what it is. And that's really good, but like it's too much sugar, so we just stay away from them. I like my pancakes dry, and I know that like it's gonna freak you guys out, but if the pancake's good enough, it's amazing dry, especially like you have the right amount of butter, and it's just like, because you know, you gotta grease the, I have this 5-burner griddle. It's like a Blackstone, but it's a knockoff, and you gotta grease it with something, and so tallow and butter are the only two things that ever touch that as far as grease goes. And I scraped the tallow off because I do a tallow protective coat on it. And I threw some butter on there, and oh my gosh, it was amazing. Anyway, I stay up late, wake up 03:30, 04, work till noon, home at 1400, 1500, fall asleep until 17, 1800, and stay up late again. Yeah, Holly, it sucks. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Just sleep till you can. Jocko protein pancakes and waffles for the win. Kiddos like it and don't know it's better for them either. I know. So like I don't know if like they're just like operator weather anytime they see it rain, because now they're eating all the Jocko, and like I have like no super love for Jocko. Like I can't get into his podcast. I've listened, and you know, it's whatever. I've heard some stuff on Jocko, and I don't know, and I'm not in that community, and I honestly don't care. I like the protein. That's really about one of the only supplements that I like from him. And the reason that I'm on the Jocko kick is because I don't have pockets deep enough for the first form stuff. I like Jocko protein powder because it is buttery smooth. Like it's the first protein powder I've ever had in my life that didn't taste like chalk. And so that's why I like it. Isn't 15 grams a day for, I assume you mean for creatine, a bit much like for your kidneys? So if you don't drink much water, then yeah, it probably would be. But there's some pretty long-term studies on creatine. The vast majority of creatine issues that people have is like when people are taking like 60 grams. Creatine is the most studied supplement ever in the history of forever, because it's been around for about 60 years now. And it is dirt cheap, and the reason it's dirt cheap is because all the patents expired on it. It's better if you get your creatine naturally from meat sources. And when my blood work was done just recently, my creatine was marginally higher than the average male. And I'm taking a lot of creatine. So it's like, I pee it out. You drink a gallon of water a day and you're not gonna have a problem. Good word on creatine. I'll be dosing it high this week, and it's cheap, man. So like double dose it, like just anything after 5 grams, it doesn't stay in your body. You pee it out. So when you need to have that extra bit of focus or whatever, get you some electrolytes, get you a double dose of creatine in that bottle. And then after you do that, drink just a plain Jane bottle of water after that, and you're gonna be good. Now, if you're like somebody like Lauren over at Refuge, who has maybe about an ounce of water every 4 days, yeah, that's probably too much creatine. But if you're a normal human being that drinks normal amounts of water, or if you're good to your body and actually drink a gallon of water in a day or more, then yeah, you're not gonna have any problems with it. So. Add a bit of coconut oil to it and blend it for a more syrup PB. Yeah, we've got a lot of coconut oil around here. I might have to try that. But I like, honestly, guys, like I just like my pancakes dry. Like it is what it is. Not a fan of the Jocko supplements. I like protein and hydration packets. Podcast is okay. Man seems good. So I've heard some stuff on Jocko, and I just don't know. I don't know if it's the fact that that Chris Kyle, who was in his platoon, turns out that like all of his stories were a lie, and it turns out that Marcus Luttrell's, like all of his stuff, that lone survivor guy, like everything he said was a lie, and I know Marcus wasn't in Jocko's stuff, but and then there's one other person I'm trying to remember who was in Jocko's platoon that like it's come out that a lot of his stuff is like a no-go. And there's criticism that Jocko's extreme ownership is not like up to snuff for whatever, like internally that company's not run the way that you think it would be run. So I don't know, like I really don't care. Dano, shalom, good to see you, brother. I don't know, like I like the protein powder. That is the one thing from Jocko that I like. My son really likes the Mikey and the Dragons book that Jocko wrote. That is, I wish that book had come out when I was a child. I needed that book when I was a kid, so it was very healing for me to read that to him. Like I tear up every time I read it, and we read it the other night, and actually we read it last night. It's a dang good book. Oh my gosh. Like if you haven't read Mikey and the Dragons, you need to. The whole thing's on YouTube for free. That is well worth your time. And it's just a little boy who learns to overcome fear. And the whole point of that book is remember the dragons are small because the dragons can't hurt you. Like, you know, we make them up to be much bigger in our heads than they really are. Allegedly, Jocko did write that book. You know, I don't think it was a ghostwriter. That is a really good book. I hear the Warrior Kid books are decent. Haven't gotten into them. I don't know. I'm just hearing enough rumors about Jocko that I'm just kind of staying away other than that protein powder. And then I guess Mikey and the Dragons. But I mean, I would like that book even if somebody else wrote it. So it doesn't matter. If you like them dry, frozen butter and doesn't melt too fast, and chunky PB, fold pancake taco and enjoy. So I take the turkey bacon and I put it and some eggs and a little bit of salt inside of the dry pancake, and then, you know, boom, breakfast taco right there. It's good. I mean, take some steak and throw it in there. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. But I figured up the protein content of those pancakes, and I usually make a double batch, and the double batch is like 200 grams of protein for the whole thing, and I usually get 1, 2, 6, 12, 24. I usually get almost 30 pancakes, so 200 grams divided by 30, and it really depends on the size that you make them. But yeah, let's just say 26 pancakes divided by 200 grams of protein. So, you know, 8 grams of protein a pancake's not a bad way to go. And they're tasty, so you're gonna eat like 6 of them. Like they're just good. But yeah, that's what I know. So, final check. These mics working for you guys? Like, you guys hear me good? And then gimbal stuff, like it's just fun. Sound off in the comments. Mike's going good. Hey, Kermode, praying up for you and Striker, brother. I caught some of Jody's live, saw that both of you both going through it lately. Me too. Finally getting out of the funk. Been staying sober. Good. Good to hear that, Dana, that you've been staying sober. I've been splurging on small racks of lamb and cooking it in the skillet with rosemary and butter. So Mrs. 12th C takes lamb from Sam's Club, and I would love to get some locally sourced sheep here, but we take some lamb from Sam's Club and she throws it in the crock pot, and oh my gosh, that is so good. Like, it's the best tacos like that you'll ever have in your life. Or like we will take it and like slice it. But it just shredded lamb or like really tender roast lamb. That's just so good. Like, it is amazing. All right, Kermode and Holly, good to hear. 5x5. It's the best, believe it. 5x5 going live in the free world. Mike's great, good. That's what I like to hear. All right, so guys, I am gonna bounce. Guy, you would show up right as I was bouncing. Good good to see you guys here. I will keep this one, post it. I will put shirt link in the description. Holly, I will shoot you a message on Signal, and I will send you the Methylene Blue that I've been taking. Thanks for making sure that my stuff works. Appreciate you guys. Shalom. Go do hard things.